So, how you guys doing? Ready to do some simplifying? All right. So, order of operations says to take care of parentheses first, correct? Well, inside parentheses, I have a multiplication problem, and I'm multiplying this 25 to the power of 3/4 by 4 to the negative 3/4. Now, here's the deal. If you remember the rule that basically has told us that as long as the bases are the same, you can add the exponents, right? But if the bases are not the same, can you add the exponents? No, because the first one tells you you have 2x's here, 3x's here. This gives you a total of 5x's. You have on the second one 2x's and 3y's. Apples and oranges, right? Okay, so that's the scenario we have going on here. But gratefully, it's a multiplication problem, which means I can actually split this apart. I can take a look at the 25 to the power of 3/4 separately from the 4 to the negative 3/4 power. They're still going to get multiplied together, okay? And notice outside the parentheses is this square. That square is going to be distributed to both of these terms. Good? Okay. Again, because it's multiplication, I can split it apart. Addition and subtraction don't let me do that. And if you're like, why not? Go see another video I did. So here's the deal. Also remember when we've had things like this, when we have exponents through parentheses, such as something like this, that means I have 3 parentheses, and inside each parenthesis is an x squared, right? That will give me x to the power of 6, won't it? Which means all I had to do was multiply these two exponents to get the 6. Quick refresher. So over here, if I take a look at this, that means I have 25 to the, put a 1 under it, 6/4, but 6/4 reduces to 3/2. Excellent. And now look at this one. Put a 1 under the 2. So we have 4 to the negative 6/4. And again, that can be reduced to negative 3/2. Okay. So far, so good. Are we understanding this? Awesome. We can distribute the power to the other powers because it's multiplication in between the two bases. Now, the question is, can I take this any further? Well, you got to remember something. When you have a rational exponent, you need to remember that the denominator represents a root and the numerator represents a power. So technically over here, and I'm just going to do it off to the side so I don't have a lot of stuff going on in the problem itself. If I look at 25 to the 3/2, this too tells me I'm dealing with a square root. And 25 is under the square root. But then this 3 tells me I'm going to have to take it to the power of 3. So, you know the square root of 25 as well as I do. That's 5. And you still have to deal with the power of 3, which is, so this actually simplifies to 125. Now look at the 4 to the negative 3/2. By the way, I could have worked the power first and the root second. It doesn't matter, I'll get the same answer. But here's what I know. I don't know 25 cubed without a calculator. But I do know the square root of 25 without a calculator. So that's why I chose to do the square root first. And if you're like, I'm going to test it. Test it. Pause the video, test it. Take 25 to the power of 3. And then take the square root of that answer. And tell me if you don't get 125. I'm waiting. Okay, you're back. Yeah, you got 125. I knew you would. Over here, this 2 represents the root. So I know I'm taking the square root of 4. But then I have to raise it to the power of negative 3. Well, square root of 4, that's 2. And it's to the negative 3rd. Well, you know that 2 cubed is 8, don't you? And it still has a negative 1 power, which means it's going to make it a fraction. It's going to put the 8 in the denominator and give you 1/8. Good? So in this case, excuse me, your final answer would be 125 over 8. Yes? Yes. Okay, so I have some examples coming your way. Make certain you work on them before you find my answer key video. Catch you on the flip side.